Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Gaming Daddy channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. So we're going to be looking at a few things that have changed regarding the situation with Tom Clancy's The Division 2. So in the past few weeks, there was a lot of conversation about, the developers not telling us what's going on. It felt a little rude, all of the silence and all of that. And, I think I get it. People are kind of eager to know where, they stand, if they need to continue playing this game or whatever it is. But I think a lot of that has changed. I mean, if you go and, examine what all has gone on in the past few weeks, we've actually gotten word from Yannick. We've also gotten word from Terry, and they've said we're not in charge of actually making the decision when anything is said. So developers pretty much don't have a hand in that. Their work is to develop the content and keep working on that. We've also got some more, slight, I wouldn't say details, but updates from Yannick, where he's basically said on Twitter and replied to other people saying, we're working hard on this content and we're going to be showing it when it's ready. And I think that word ready is actually a big deal because the way it sounds, some people in the community seem to want this content to show up, very fast. It's like almost anything that needs to happen for this content to show up, they actually do want it. To me, I think sometimes that comes from a place of concern or just being eager or hyped. But then there's also that side where it just comes from a place of impatience. Now, patience is, they say is a virtue, and I'm going to be the first to tell you I don't have a lot of it. And so if I'm here talking about patience, then something is kind of broken because I really don't have a lot of patience to spare in many cases. In fact, the moment this content started to drag too long, I already found myself all kinds of fun things to do. You talk to people in my clan, well, not everybody anyways, talk to some of my inner circles, they'll tell you that I've been working on some crazy projects that if I were to show it right now, you guys would be like, you're crazy. And yes, sometimes I am. But these things came from a place of having a little bit of impatience to deal with them, if you get what I mean. And now the reality also comes into light because what's been going on in the gaming industry has put Ubisoft and Massive in the same situation that many other studios are in. What is this situation? What's going on in the gaming world? Well, I have to just say, if you haven't paid attention to what's been going on in the gaming industry, then you're probably living under a rock, because if you paid attention even in 2020, there were so many delays that came about in regard to the way COVID was handled in different areas, different parts of the world, and different regions. If you go off, maybe say even the games that we've already seen released but actually got initial delays, you can count about 3 of them. You talk about even The Last of Us Part 2, you talk about another game, Marvel's Avengers, and I think Ghost of Tsushima got a delay, I think because of it was kind of an artificial delay because Sony wanted that one to come out after The Last of Us 2. So these are 3 games, major titles that got those delays. Then other titles that have received delays that we still haven't gotten till date include Dying Light 2, you have Gotham Knights, which both are Warner Brothers games, and you also have the Hogwarts Legacy. Actually, 3 of them are Warner Brothers games. And so these are some of the things that we've seen in regard to gameplay delays. Big, huge games that have been worked on for so many years, and all have received very, very, significant delays in terms of their release dates. So there's no way that we can say Ubisoft Massive should be exempt from that, because they have also, gotten their own fair share of the same things that have, affected the gaming industry lately. In fact, if you also add to the fact that some of the developers and some of the community managers have moved to other studios, these are probably internal changes that probably needed to happen because, in regard to the content being set up very fast, it made sense for some people to be able to leave and some people to be able to potentially stay. So these are pertinent issues that need to be taken into account when we're looking at this content. So again, here is the big question. Do you want the content now, or do you want the content when it's ready? And I can guarantee you that there are more people than not that will tell you that we prefer to have this content when it's ready. It's hard to wait, but again, at the same time, it's not impossible to wait. And here's the thing. If at the end of the day, Ubisoft Massive and Ubisoft says, you know what, scrap the content. We'll explain to our shareholders that we couldn't bring the content to the, to the community, and that's basically what it's going to be. I still wouldn't have any problems with that. To be very honest, fine. They probably at that point I can say they lied or they said something that wasn't certain. But here's the main and most important thing. I didn't give him a dime. And that's, I think, the best way to go about all of this. Because, one thing that really happens in the gaming world is many times we can find ourselves in a situation where we get, overly committed. But to me, I see them as a company trying to make money. And if they're not going to give me anything, they're not going to get a dime from me. And so I can basically take my, I can take my cards or my ball and go home, or go purchase another game from another gaming studio. But I doubt that that's the approach that they want to take. They have so much on the line right now that it makes no sense for them to not bring this content. Come, hail or come high water, whatever it is, I think they're going to do their best to bring the content, because a lot is riding upon it. You have an Avatar game, brand spanking new IP that they're working on, and they're going to go ahead and tell their Division audience they're not going to give them extra content. This community, right? You know how explosive this community can be. I mean, just think about the blowback. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, but that's some really, really bold stuff if they pulled something like that. Think about Heartland, which is also another game that another studio is working on. Think about XDefiant. If they did this, they would literally be throwing away a lot of the prospects that those other games actually have. So these are pretty much my thoughts. I want the game content whenever it's coming out for the Division 2, when it's ready. I guess it's one of those things where you could say you want it now, but if you got it in a half-baked sense, most likely you're not going to be happy with the content. So if you were to kind of assess all of this, you kind of want the content when it's ready. I think so. But let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Talk to you guys in another video. Peace out.